You have entered the Saturday morning Samoflange. You're about to enter a podcast.
No,
that's what I should have said. You're about to enter a podcast.
And that's fantastic, yeah.
That gives a top 5.
Oh, every single Saturday.
Morning.
Samoflange.
Oh!
It's over with. No way. Welcome to the morning.
Happy Halloween.
This is Halloween.
I believe the song goes 3 more days till Halloween, 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 3 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Hey kids, put on your mask and listen to the podcast.
There's your intro right there.
It's sure to have roaches come screaming out of your eyes and brain matter.
Stop it.
All right.
Welcome to everyone's favorite holiday and everyone's favorite podcast, Saturday Morning Samoflange.
Boom!
Halloween edition.
Halloween edition. And they're probably going on Saturday night. Isn't that when the kids usually go? Or maybe they went some on Friday night?
I am always so confused by...
You're supposed to go Tuesday night.
Who are the parents of the world that decide?
I don't know. But
how does this get decided every year? The president doesn't come out and say, I've decreed that Halloween this year will be observed. Like, who?
Is there a pumpkin that rises out of a tree stump? Hey guys, 3 more days of Halloween. Yay!
Okay.
After Saturday. But I think what's going to happen, is there are going to be trick-or-treaters on Saturdays. And then again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's the middle of the school week, and they're not going to want kids being out. But some people are going to be doing something.
They are. They must. I don't know. Who cares? Like you're the one.
Who cares about them kids?
You're the one who has so many little trick or treaters now.
I do.
So
I do. One's going to be a fireman. One's going to be Dorothy from Oz.
Wow.
Hence the reason you walked in us while Return to Oz
was happening,
which takes place during Halloween.
Does it?
At the very beginning, she gives them a pumpkin. And says, it's getting close to Halloween. I was like, this is a Halloween movie? Cool. I did not know that.
No, that gives me even more reason to watch, because I just saw the end and I was like, wow, this looks great. I forgot.
Well, you watched it a lot as a kid. I remember I rented it once at the library. Yeah. Back when you get the VHS.
Did you get so disappointed and you were just like, what is this?
I was just so confused about what was going on. I was like, what is this? Everything looks stupid. Yeah. But I've become to appreciate it more. But anyway, listen to our Return to Oz podcast next time
on Saturday
morning.
Yes, exactly. So
top 5 things that scared us as a kid.
Scared us as kids. This was an interesting list right away. I got very excited about this.
It was interesting because I didn't know where we'd go. And I didn't know, honestly, even today, did not know where I was going to go.
Honestly, even at this very moment,
wow.
I don't know where this is going to go. And I will tell you why.
Okay.
Because I came up with 3 instantaneous ideas as to what scared me as a kid. Because I have some core, I was afraid of that, memories as a child. Then I thought to myself, I'm going to call my little sister, who you know well,
yes.
And I'm going to say, hey, Kim, what scared you as a kid? And was there something that maybe I'd forgotten that maybe in our childhood, because we're so close in age, that we both were afraid of something in particular?
Right.
And then she didn't answer, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let me ask the world what. And so I posted on Facebook.
Oh, you did! That's what you've been doing.
As I got into the car on my way here,
sneaky guy,
I just thought, this is what I posted on Facebook. What's something that really scared you as a kid? About to record the Halloween episode for our podcast. So instead of a top 25, or instead of a top 5, I have a top 25.
You've already polled the audience.
I have polled the audience. And I have 21 comments as of this recording.
That's awesome.
In the past 2 hours, 21 people have commented. And I have so I have another one because somebody sent me a story on Messenger, like directly. I don't know. I'm going to read it because I don't know why they didn't comment on it, but too bad. It's been out there now. So I have about 20 comments to read through, and some of them are great. I'm so excited. So yes, how much crossover are we going to have with this?
I say 0.
You think really 0?
I think 0. I think it's going to be so unique.
Okay. Even though I have 25 answers coming at you, and I haven't even read them all yet, so I don't even know what's on this list.
You're going to get 5. I'll give 1. How's that?
Okay.
I'm going to go 0. I'm going to be bold and go 0.
Interesting. All right.
Okay. Hold on. Let me think. 1, maybe 2, but No, I'm gonna.
I'll give you whatever you want because I have 25 answers coming at you.
I'm gonna say 0.
Okay, even out of 25 instead of 5.
0.
Okay.
I feel like 2 of these may be there. But I think I'm thinking on a different path.
So your number 5 is?
Oh, you want me to do, and then you do 5?
No.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, I have my top 3. I don't know how we want to do it. But
Oh, you have your top 3.
I have a top 3, and then I have those other 20.
Oh, okay. That's fair then. So you want me to do 5 and 4, and
I
then
don't know. I think we should just spit them out and see
All
what
right.
happens.
Number 5. As a kid,
Yes.
I was scared to poop at someone else's house.
I'm scared of that now.
I was scared to poop in public bathrooms.
Really?
As a
but
kid,
your own toilet.
as a kid, I had to go home. I had to be home.
I guarantee you that there are a
if-
lot of people listening to this who feel the exact same way.
If we were at a beach house, there's a word for it. I think
I'm sure
to
there
be
is
scared
a
to go to the
phobia.
bathroom. Yeah, phobia.
Yeah.
I had that because first
'Cause
off, if
you
there's
saw
anyone else in the bathroom, in the stall next to me, perish the thought.
Forget it.
Or at the urinal, it didn't matter because I was so embarrassed that I was on the toilet.
You saw the movie Critters and that you saw?
No, I ain't seen it yet.
Okay.
But as a kid, I kept thinking, oh man, I'm gonna walk out there and go, the kid was pooping.
Oh my gosh.
Because as kids, kids made fun of you for that.
Yeah.
But no one in their right mind even cared that there was a kid pooping on the toilet. But I hated doing it. I didn't do it. There was one time we spent the week at someone's house. I held it in. I
You
probably
can't
hurt my
be
bowels
serious.
there. But I did not poop the entire week.
For a week?
For most of the week, probably the 5 days we were there, 4 nights or whatever. I did not poop in the moment we got home.
And to this day.
But it was bad constipation. Yeah, to this day. But I remember, and it was hurting me. I was hurting too. And I'm, the lady thought, well, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm fine.
Disclaimer, folks.
But I just
don't do that.
I didn't want them to think that because when I poop, it's going to take a while, and I didn't want them saying, "Oh, he's pooping. That's why he's taking so long." And it just petrified me as a kid. Now I don't know when I got. A lot of these I know when I conquered this fear.
We could have. You may be right about the crossover because I could have guessed 100 things, and I don't think that pooping in public would have been, or pooping outside
As
of
a
your
kid,
house.
it doesn't matter now.
That would have never been on the list.
At work, I went to the stall next to me this week. The guy was in the stall next to me. He's grunting. I'm just like, okay, dude, well, I'm here. You do the whole customary to let someone know that you're there.
Sure,
That's how you announce it.
sure, yeah.
And then you sit in the pot and you just go. I mean, it's like, stuff like it was noise making and everything. But I'm not embarrassed anymore because who cares?
I just never thought that we would be talking about poop on the Halloween podcast.
I just thought that's scary.
This is my favorite podcast of the year, Matt. and
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
We're talking about
because we're talking about pooping
right from the off.
I
we're
mean,
talking about poop.
I have, and I think people have heard this story before, but I have, I have pooped out in public. I mean, like drop trout, and I couldn't go anywhere else. So it has to be out in the great wide,
grief.
The suburban area.
So how did you cure yourself of this phobia?
And that's the thing. Most of these I remember, and I just don't. Maybe when I got past high school or something, it had to be somewhere in high school that I just said, this is dumb, and I'd poop it because I remember pooping at other people's houses when I moved here. But eventually, in my teenage years, it kind of because you're spending the night with someone, you just go poop. You're like, I gotta poop. I'm not gonna hold it in. I'm not gonna have any fun until I get this poop out of here. So let's poop. Let's poop it and get off the pot.
Can we talk about something else?
Please go ahead.
I think our audience might be a little weary of talking about your bowels.
Do they think they feel like crap?
My number 5 was the movie Making Contact. Do you remember this with the ventriloquist dummy? This is from the 80s, and the main antagonist was a possessed ventriloquist dummy that would like turn its head slowly towards the camera.
Yeah. I remember this.
And it was like a kid's. It's like a kid's movie wrapped up in a horror movie, but it was horrifying to watch. And then like for the big final scene, like Darth Vader comes out at the end because the kid's nightmares are coming to life at the very end because the spirit the spirit that is inhabiting the ventriloquist dummy thing, it's controlling all the toys and making all of his nightmares happen. And I might be screwing this up totally because I remember watching the movie just a few years, like maybe 10 years ago now, and realizing like, oh my God, this is pitched towards kids, but I remember being absolutely terrified of this ventriloquist dummy. And because there's the big scene at the end, and this is how my sister and my cousin Brad and we watched this as kids because Brad would spend the summer with us, and we were horrified. There's this big scene where the dummy loses his temper, and he goes, "Blah!" Like it sounds like Falcor from the Neverending Story. And it's just, but the way that it's done, like imagine if that Falcor roar was presented with like scary music.
That would be scary.
It was scary music, scary lighting, and then a close up of a ventriloquist dummy's angry face, and just it was just
no. I can see that. I can see that now.
So from that point forward, we called the movie Blah. Because we didn't remember as kids that it was Making Contact. It took me years to find out what the actual name of that movie was. Because we were like, what was that movie, Kim, that was, Blah? And she's like, oh, Blah. I remember
Blah. Everyone remembers
It took me forever
Blah.
to find it. And I finally did. And it's called Making Contact. And it is horrifying. Do not show it to your children, please.
So you're so scared that the movie is called after a noise that the scariest thing made.
Exactly.
That's when you know.
Yeah,
that's when you know.
We created an onomatopoeia because we could not contain our fear. So, do you know what an onomatopoeia is?
Onomatopoeia?
Yeah, an onomatopoeia. And we're not talking about onomatopoeia, onomatopoeias. Okay? Onomatopoeia is a word that describes a noise like bang.
Got it.
So, bang is the same sound as what a gun makes, right?
Got it, yeah.
So, and pow or plop or whatever.
Yeah.
So, blah was the
That's
onomatopoeia
great.
that we
I love
created,
that.
yeah. And just, we blocked out the name of the movie perhaps out of terror, I think. So that's my number 5.
I love it. There were, I mean, if we could do honorable mentions, I thought about there were certain movies that scared me.
I mean, those
were the scenes. Did that now? See, that scared you, and you probably didn't sleep for weeks, probably.
Oh God!
And y'all grew up thinking, "Remember,
Terrifying.
That's so scary."
And what was fun about that moment too is that in the same scene, I believe that's when Darth Vader shows up. But Darth Vader wasn't scary. He was like, "Oh, cool, Darth Vader!" It was because
at that point, it's not scary anymore.
It was kind of like you're terrified for a second, but then you see Darth Vader, and you're like, "Whoa,
someone familiar and cool."
Yeah, exactly. And so we were amazed at how cool that was, and that's what took away the fear, the sting of the blah.
No, I get that. I get that. There are certain movies, their scenes scared me, and maybe it scared me that night, but then I eventually got over it, I felt. And even though, I'll be honest, Return of the Jedi, when he takes off his mask, the second time I saw the movie, I walked out of the theater.
No, you didn't.
I knew it was coming. I was going to be scared.
No, you didn't.
And another scene that I would look away from was in Last Starfighter. When his clone is breathing. Oh,
I hate that.
Yes. It scared me. And the second time I looked away.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those were two scenes that freaked me out as a kid. But we didn't watch many scary movies as kids.
No,
Mom protected us.
I wasn't allowed to watch any scary movies. Which is the opposite of Carrie. Like Carrie grew up on scary movies. And I was like, your dad let you watch this as a kid? Are you serious? And that's what I think was wrong with her. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
just kidding.
My number
4.
Oh, these are not in order here.
That's
4
okay.
is, and it's kind of something that scares me a little bit today, but definitely as a kid, heights.
I didn't know that.
Don't like heights.
Tell me more.
For some reason, getting on a roof did not bother me at all. I love being on roofs.
Calvin and Hobbes.
And jumping off roofs, yeah.
Well, you had Calvin and Hobbes to help you guide you through that process.
And I got weaned off of but I mean, even on the second story of the mall, leaning over, I would not even get close to the rail. I wouldn't even get close to the rail.
Where?
I was on the second story of the mall.
Second story of the mall?
If you're on the second floor of the mall, I would not get near the rail.
Wow.
I did not
Did you see a movie where some kid fell over or something?
I couldn't climb up too high into a tree. Even though there were footholds, I'd get scared. If I went more than just 6 feet up, probably.
Interesting.
And petrified. Now, I don't know if it was high school, definitely college or something like that, or in the middle, after I graduated high school, I finally got over that.
Cool.
Just because I had to do something. I was working construction in Baltimore for like a few months.
Yeah, I remember.
And they made me go up on this rickety 20-foot ladder, and
you couldn't say no.
But I had to do it because that's what I was there. I was a
big
man. I had to do a man's
right?
job.
This was a proving ground.
And I still don't like it today. But I'll get up on the rail whenever they need me at Strauss because a lot of people don't like doing the rail. Which if no one knows, that's like 30 feet.
It's a good long height. You will die.
It's a tall ladder.
You will hurt yourself terribly.
But I just look straight ahead. Going up the ladder, going down doesn't bother me. Being up there, I just look straight ahead. I keep looking.
Really?
Yeah, I look straight and do my thing, and I grab the rails. I'm walking.
Interesting.
And I do it, and then I sit down and I watch the play,
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
Man,
but when I get back
there.
up, I hold the rail. I look
Interesting.
straight ahead. I never look down. I look straight when I'm walking.
Man, I'm up there dancing and having a good time.
And I would never do that. And the thing is, though, I don't know why, but that just kind of And every once in a while, when I'm looking down for too long, I'm getting kind of. If I'm looking directly below me, that scares me.
When you drive over Louisville Avenue, the bridge, and you don't look down in the gate.
No, nothing like that scares me. So there's a lot of stuff now that doesn't scare me like that.
Did it ever? Did looking into that bridge?
Maybe as a kid it would have.
Okay.
But even in right after college, I think I was right out of college. I jumped, and it was really stupid. I don't know why we did this, but I jumped from mountain.
it's college, so
one mountain to the next.
What?
There was the peaks that kind of go like this, but you have to jump. It's a 4-foot jump, and if you drop, you're dead.
Oh my
and
word!
The plateaus were about 4 feet apart, so you could do a running jump and jump over.
Sure.
And everyone was doing it, and I thought, F this, I'm going back down the mountain. I'll see you later. But you go up one mountain, then jump the mountain, then go down, and that's what everyone did.
Yeah, that's the
But
idea.
I was like, and 4 feet isn't that much.
But
and you
still.
But today,
One wrong step.
Today, I would never do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not that dumb anymore. But even then, I was like, when I jumped, I went, this is stupid. But you make it. I mean, I clearly think about 8 feet or whatever,
Those were going to be your final words? This is stupid?
Yeah.
That's a pretty poor choice.
I don't know what it was. It was probably taking a dump, probably. Now I'm scared to dump in public. Good thing I'm not scared to dump in public, That's
Number 4 was
Number 4, go.
Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh! I forgot about Large Marge.
Holy cow.
That was super scary. I forgot about her.
It was ghastly.
You are exactly right.
Absolutely terrifying. She turns and she tell him Large Marge sent you.
And she had a face, and it looked like this.
Yeah, that's it.
But the thing is, though, it's so out of when you first watch it, you don't expect it.
Out of
it
the
happens.
blue.
You can't look. You can't look away.
It's the worst.
And from that.
You know what? I would love to see a compilation video of people seeing that for the first time ever. And just watching people's reactions to Large Marge's face like this.
Horrifying. Horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, the more I talk about it, the more it should be higher on my list.
It was the stuff of nightmares. That's a great one.
Thank you.
I forgot about her.
I think that might have been my very first answer. No, it was my second answer that I came up with. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one because you're right because that scared us
I think that
all
will be a
as
universal agreement from the comment section of the podcast this week.
I'm almost interested if someone says no, that didn't scare me because
that's what I want. If somebody didn't get scared by Large Marge, I need you to put it in the comments as to what's wrong with you.
No. I'm just going to call you a liar in the comments right after. That's what's going to happen.
Liar, you are a liar.
You will be known as a liar.
Yes, forever.
Forever when you tell us that. But yeah, so but it was super scary. Oh man, I totally forgotten about that.
That's scary today.
It's scary today. That's a good scene.
And I've never seen that movie in high def on like a nice quality TV.
See, and
could you imagine?
Oh, no. There are movies moments that have scared me now, but I wasn't a kid back then.
It almost makes me glad that I saw that movie on like a 27-inch tube TV, so I couldn't have it imprinted in my brain too much more. It would be so awful and crystal clear. HD now. But
see, here's another reason why I never watched scary movies as a kid. But I forget about
Big
those.
Adventure, isn't
I
it?
forget it's not, but it has a scary moment. And I forgot about that. So yeah. And neither Last Starfire usually isn't that scary,
but it's got that moment or two
has that
that's
moment.
Awful.
And
Beetlejuice is that way.
You forget about these moments. Yeah. All right. So number 3.
Yep.
When I was 13, 14, whatever, we flew with Dad. Dad would go places, and they'd always buy a ticket for Mom, but Mom never wanted to go. So Dad would choose me and my other brother, and we'd take turns flying with him.
Okay.
And so flying, I was petrified when I travel with him.
Okay.
The first couple of times, I'd just sit there and pray for 2 hours that we wouldn't die. Because we were so high up in the, heights. It's almost like, maybe I should have ranked this below heights because it ties into heights.
Yeah.
But flying really scared me. Flying also scares Mr. T. But flying scares Mikey from Saturday Morning Samoflange, I think, today.
The fool. I didn't know that.
Yes. In fact,
my dad has never been on a plane.
Really? Nope. Because flying
won't do it.
There you go.
John Madden wouldn't fly.
But, well, yeah. But
A lot of people have a terrifying fear
I
of it.
believe Mikey even left a job that required him to fly, and he just couldn't take it
absolutely
anymore.
not.
And because it put him in an uncomfortable position, that was one of the reasons, maybe the main reason. I can't remember. I have to ask him. I wish he was here to tell the story. But that may have been the reason he left the job, I believe, because he couldn't fly anymore. He was just too terrified of flying, and his job required some flying here and there.
Well, good for him.
But the thing is, though, it scared me so bad. And
You
when
would pray for the first 2
I
hours.
was sick to my stomach.
Wow.
And then I don't know when
That's
it
cool
was.
because I got another church story coming up here in a minute.
That's great.
Go ahead.
But as I got older and as we kept doing this, I kept relaxing a little bit more. So maybe 16, 17, senior in high school, I was like, okay.
Okay.
And it doesn't scare me. And it got so good that even when I was in college or afterwards, we had an emergency landing because someone didn't shut the stupid door to the plane. And we had to do an emergency landing real quick. And everyone was crying. I was going,
It'll
we'll
be
all
fine.
right.
Yeah.
We'll be all right. I'm just like, now I'm pretty
Total opposite.
laid back and relaxed now. But as a kid,
cucumber soup.
As a kid, if that would have happened, I would have pooped myself.
Sorry,
I had to put it in there.
That's all right. Well,
okay.
It's
I'm done with the poop myself analogy.
We will see.
We will rock you. Go for it.
So my number 2 is another movie, but not necessarily the movie, but the nightmare I had after watching the movie.
That's so fair.
Which is odd because it's from Ghostbusters. And I might have told this story a few years ago, but I saw Ghostbusters and I love it and I watched it. It was on for Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I love this movie. I'll watch it again. Something about Slimer stuck in my memory that night. And I went to bed and I had the most terrifying night because Slimer in the movie is really grotesque.
He's fat and disgusting.
Yeah,
no, I get that.
He was gory. I mean, I was never afraid of Slimer watching the movie. Even as a kid, I'm like, I love this movie. Slimer's not that big deal. He comes at you in the hallway with the blah when he's slamming Venkman, right?
You're right about that.
And
you're right about
when
that.
he's charging Peter in the hallway is a little bit scary.
Well, that's the first time we see him. The thing is, though, I watched the cartoon first.
Exactly, and so it's very different in the cartoon, and
it's very different. He's their friend,
He's a
which
hero.
I thought he was I'd never seen the movie. I thought he was a bigger character.
Oh yeah,
in the movie, I thought he was their friend in the movie too.
And so, I was never afraid of Slimer. Really, like that moment is a little bit like whatever.
But watching that movie, it's a different type of.
But my brain had I would go to bed that night and I have this terrifying nightmare that I can recall in vivid detail even today, like from start to finish. I can tell you every single aspect of that nightmare. Do you know why? Because I had it in October, and I was probably about 8 years old when I had it the first time, and then I didn't have it. I woke up in a cold sweat, screaming, whatever. Know exactly how it ended because basically it was ended with a slow motion reach towards a door handle, trying to get out of the room.
Wow.
I knew something was out there. And then as my hand is reaching for the door handle, I never quite touch it. But then my body and I want to scream like, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it, because, the thing's going to
get you. What's behind there.
Going to get you. And then as the very, very tip of my finger reaches to the door handle, the dream ends, and I hear this horrifying satanic voice say, "I shall return."
And you're like, "Shut up, Kim."
It was the most whatever the most terrifying version of "I shall return" and whatever voice that I can't emulate it. But it was just pure fear. And I woke up cold sweat, screaming and everything else. But then here's the thing:
was it what's the ghost name in Ghostbusters? The bad guy,
Azul.
Azul. Is that right? I want to say Azuzu, but that's because I'm thinking of Exodus.
You're talking about Gozer?
Gozer.
Yeah, Gozer the Gozerian.
Gozer. Yeah.
Zool.
That's it.
So the thing is about that nightmare is I woke up in a cold sweat, fine, terrible, awful October. The next October, I had not watched Ghostbusters, but I had the nightmare again. Point for point, shot for shot.
Shut up.
9 years old. And so it was exactly 12 months later, my body remembered it and I had it again.
And knew it was time to
to do it again. And same ending. I shall return. Horrifying. Woke up screaming, sweat, dripping, everything. Never had a nightmare before that I recall. And then 10 years old, October comes around. I had the nightmare again.
Shut up.
I'm not even kidding. 3 years in a row I had this nightmare. Here's the difference. The third time I had it, I was a little older. I was 10. You know, I knew.
I was an old man. I was an old wise sage back
veteran
then.
at this point, you know. And so but right from the off, there was no fear. It was like the nightmare started as if you were pressing play on a record or a VHS tape.
Right.
And then immediately I was like, I know this movie. I know what's going to happen next. Oh, there's the thing.
There's the door. There's the thing.
As it progressed exactly the way I knew it would, I was saying, "Oh yeah, this is what the part that's gonna this is gonna happen next," and I'm saying this to myself as a disembodied pair of eyes kind of thing, right? And then it goes to the door handle scene at the very end, and then it never went into slow motion, and the voice never came, and I opened the door, and then there was Slimer holding Venkman by a leg upside down. And he was just like flinging him back and forth over this hay bale, right? And it's stormy outside and everything.
Yeah.
And then I basically told Slimer to leave. I said, "Get out of here. Let go
No
of
one
him
wants you.
and get out of here." And he drops Venkman into the hay, and then he flies up into the storm and leaves, laughing, you know, and just giggles off. And then we go, and the rest of the Ghostbusters, we all go out and we pick up Venkman, and then the dream ended. The voice never happened. It never went into slow motion, and I never had it again.
Shut up.
Yeah. 3
You
years.
finally stood up to Slimer.
Exactly.
And he said, "I'm not coming back."
Not coming back, and he didn't. And it was the coolest thing in the world, and I still remember that to this day. Every single detail. I could spend an entire podcast telling you in vivid detail that entire nightmare from start to finish.
And they toasted a glass to your name. The Ghostbuster said, "So who you gonna call?"
Yeah.
That's
the
awesome.
veteran, the 10-year-old.
The veteran 10-year-old
Yeah.
says, "Did you wake up and go, I did it?"
I really did. I felt so accomplished. I felt proud of myself because I knew that I had done something. I had achieved this.
Your mom and dad wake up with you going, "Yeah, you know what you did. You know what you did. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. You're out of here. I did it."
I exercised the demons.
They're like,
Exactly.
"Benjamin, hush." But I did it. I beat
took
it.
3 years.
I beat it in its own game.
It's just, it was so incredible to me that I had it in October unprompted 2 years in a row. Like, I didn't watch Ghostbusters before that night or anything.
I was going to ask, is
No,
that something
I
you
have not.
traditionally
No,
watched every
no,
year?
no,
But no.
Both
Okay.
times it happened, the
Wow.
second 2 times it happened,
Wow.
I had not watched Ghostbusters.
So, I suffer from my night terrors, not as much as I used to, but
I didn't
still,
know that.
yeah, used to call out screaming. A lot of my roommates had great stories about that. And then when Megan met me, it was a few little bits here and there, and it's gone over the years. I still have nightmare. I still have constant nightmares where someone is chasing me. I'm running from it, and then I say, "Screw it," and then I turn around and go after it.
No kidding.
And
You go after it?
yeah, I go after
Like
it.
Han Solo?
Whatever it is.
Death
Yes,
Star corridor?
I'm running, and then I say, "You know what? I'm done." And I just go after. I say, "Where are you? Come on, let's do this."
No
you know?
kidding.
I go into the creepy house. I go into the crops at night, where whatever's stalking me is in there, and I go to fight it. And I'm pissed at that point. So, but then I just heard today, my son has night terrors.
What?
So, because they just asked me, does he have night terrors? Because he screams out at night.
How
when he- on his
cool.
nap time. Not really, because that's, I think
Not
that's
cool,
why that's
but
waking
like
him up.
How interesting.
But, yeah.
I didn't mean to say cool.
No, I know.
but-
That's fine.
Not bad.
How cool. He has issues. Good for him.
How
no, I know what you
cool.
meant. I know what you meant. No, it is interesting that he had that. I didn't know that's something that was kind of passed down
I wonder
there.
if that is genetic. Is that what they think?
I would assume so.
Interesting.
But I would think so. Well, you always say that. It could be coincidence, too. But
I mean, it seems like it would be genetic.
But either way, though, I was like, really? I said, wow. But, maybe one day he'll learn to turn around and fight.
That's very.
But I don't remember
That's very interesting.
I don't remember having that many as kids. Just as I got older, high school,
think they
just
got
definitely
worse.
college, it got worse. Because I don't remember. Because my brothers did more than I did. Maybe when I moved out of the house, it really started.
So wait a minute. Did you
getting
all
me.
have night terror?
Well, they'd all talk in their sleep and run and walk, and I didn't. But maybe I did, and I just didn't realize it.
I don't remember having a lot of
But-
scary dreams aside from that
But
one.
when I had roommates, it started coming. It started coming. But I do remember vividly waking up and I said, "Oh, I just screamed out loud," But I'd be running toward the door or something,
Like chasing somebody, or
chasing
the
somebody, or
thing.
running from something, or
was there a theme of villains? Was it ever
different
like always
aliens,
clowns
zombies,
or something?
aliens, zombies, wolf beast, what you name it, something coming after me. a spider, demon, or whatever,
some
And I had
embodiment of
a
terror.
vampire,
Darth Vader or
yeah,
a ventriloquist dummy.
the Large Marge. Oh man,
God.
If she comes after me, I can't restrain myself.
No, you wouldn't
I'd
wake
be
up
so
from
gone.
that one. No, you're gone.
know.
That's one of those you die in your sleep moments.
Yeah,
She got me.
but you got me. My number 2. Actually, this kind of ties in now. The good lead in.
Let's do it.
Being alone at night.
Really?
Meaning I slept. See, I slept with 4 other brothers.
Yes.
I always had someone in my room.
That's right. You have a big family.
So sleeping alone was kind of scary because you weren't in a den.
Do you remember
with your pack of wolves?
First time you ever slept alone?
I remember totally alone was during high school. I had a high school summer job. I was 16, 17, getting close to graduating, if not already there. Sure. I can't remember. But I remember my parents went on vacation. They had to go on vacation without me. And they're like, "Are you going to be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a
totally
man.
fine. I got this.
I'm a man.
I'm going to watch Ghostbusters."
And when they left that first night, I hardly slept a wink.
Wow.
Because every little click.
Oh, yeah. You heard every
tick,
creak, and you knew there's nothing else you could attribute it to.
Someone was trying to break in and kill me.
Totally.
And lights were on. I was standing there looking at the door of the hallway, just like petrified because it was so dark.
Like a poltergeist moment?
I turned on all the lights.
Wow.
And still just sat there, petrified because I
Just
knew I was
shaking in your
alone.
boots. Wow.
And that lasted, I know, because when I first got roommates, I moved.
And you were 16.
16,
15,
17,
16, something like
that.
that.
Yeah, it petrified me. And this is kind of edge of childhood. I guess I'm shaving off childhood here, but
I mean,
but
you had literally, I hadn't thought about it because you never had.
I never slept alone.
Yeah.
Never slept alone.
Somebody else, no one else in the house at least.
And I remember the last time being petrified was when I was I was already in college, and it was my first stay at the house. At the apartment by myself. I was there one day before my roommates came, and I was petrified. I almost moved my bookcase in front of the door to barricade it.
No way.
'Cause I was so scared. 18, and afterwards I thought, because I remember in the middle of the night thinking, "This is stupid, Matt," because who's going to say, "Let me see, out of all these apartments tonight,
right,
I'm going to break in and kill this person in room 1259B."
Right.
And I said, "This is dumb."
No
so I just stopped doing it. And after that, I remember
that's interesting because the Gene Wilder autobiography I love so much. That's one of the stories he had. He was terrified of monsters when he was a little kid, living in a poor Jewish family in New York or whatever. And then that was part of the way his mom, I think, got him to calm down, or his grandmother or somebody. He was just like terrified of the monsters and like, "Can we close the window? I don't want to," because back then he didn't have air conditioning going, and they were very poor. And so he was.
You didn't have AC, but you did have
somebody
monsters
in his family. I think his dad might have said. Because he said I was scared of Frankenstein because he'd seen Frankenstein or Dracula, one of the classic movies, right?
And that scared him.
It's terrifying,
like it did everyone.
He goes home, but then he's in New York. I don't know if it was New York City, but the point is that his dad was like, "Now listen, if Dracula were going to get you, he'd have to come all the way over here from Transylvania,
from Transylvania, right. From his
so first
castle.
of all." He's on a ship from Transylvania, right? And he can go to any part of the United States, anywhere
that he wants to.
And you're telling me he's going to come here to
What
New York.
makes you so special?
And then not only that, but we've got all these floors and these stories in this apartment, and he basically went through the process of elimination. Like, look at the odds that let's agree with you for the moment that Dracula is real. Basically, he's negotiating.
What are the odds?
With a young Gene Wilder to tell him, look, there's no chance.
There's no chance.
There's a better chance that he will kill your friends downstairs than he will kill us up here on the 5th floor. So just take comfort in that. Even if he chooses our building, odds are pretty good.
That's true. And that's so true.
And that put him to sleep. And that was it.
So,
but that's similar. So kind of a cool story.
No, that's good. That's good. So number 2 now?
I think this is my number 1 because
number 1.
It's
number 1. Okay, we're on number 1. So that's right. Go.
My final answers basically are
answer. He's locking it in, folks.
From Facebook. So because I'm done with my list,
and then I'll do my last one. We'll go.
So here are the comments that I received from my Facebook post.
We're doing the comments first.
That's my number 1.
Go, run
is
through.
Everybody,
I'll agree and disagree.
What's something that really scared you as a kid? Ed Fonseca says the inevitable collapse of human civilization, and I think that's crap because Ed he's just a jokester and a jerk.
Good deal.
But I love him.
Good deal. Thanks for being a dick.
Robert DJ Worm Jarvis says the Unsolved Mysteries theme song. And this is what's interesting.
Oh.
It's already got 3 likes, and a lot of other people have said Unsolved Mysteries. So I can't hear it in my head because the first thing I can think of is the X-Files theme song, which is the...
That's what it was playing for me right now.
Yeah, that's what you heard in your head?
Yes!
And that's what I was like,
that's so weird.
That's X-Files. That's not Unsolved Mysteries. And I'm hearing the...
I am too, because that was freaky
Mysteries.
too.
So what was Unsolved Mysteries?
I don't recall, but I know what.
You look up Unsolved Mysteries while I'll continue on with the thing. John Price says, walking up on some quicksand in the woods. That was his big fear. I mean, legit, because there was so much quicksand in movies when we were kids. Andy Chasen says, the sound of my dad pulling in the driveway early from work, and I had not done any of my chores yet. Now, that's a good one. Yeah. This
copy strike me, you.
Right. This scared people though? Oh, I hear it now.
But then he goes like, dawn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And so that was
okay. That's enough to get that copyright strike.
Just enough to get their attention.
I'm screwed now.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So, but also like they were. I get Unsolved Mysteries because several of them were pretty scary. Like especially the ones.
I agree.
The ones about alien abduction and stuff like that. Those were always my favorites because it was like, whoo, that's creepy stuff, and it's just like the stuff that people would describe that they saw. So that's good stuff. So the sound of my dad pulling in the driveway early from work, and I hadn't done any of my chores yet. That's a good one. Shannon Lane says Unsolved Mysteries and Jack Nicholson's Joker scared her as a kid.
Oh, okay. I can see that. I can see that. Well, when he's getting when he's laughing about the plastic surgery and he's smashing the mirror, that just, even though we never see his face,
it doesn't matter.
It petrifies you.
That's good enough implied.
Yeah.
Carrie Eldridge, who we just spoke about a minute ago.
Hey, Carrie.
The clown scene in Poltergeist. Excellent choice to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That clown, at the foot of the bed.
Forever.
And the little legs underneath the bed.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And that clown would come up and like drag her out of bed.
Carrie.
From the other side.
Did I watch those with you?
Ooh, Carrie.
She may have come over to the house and made me see, because I hadn't seen those.
I think Poltergeist?
I think she was this is back when she was working at Suncoast Sound.
Suncoast Video.
Because Carrie came over and we'd watch videos and it was horror movies.
And she
I think she may have been. She'll know anyway. Go ahead.
Let us know, Carrie. In the comments.
That's interesting.
Teresa Porter says watching Halloween and Friday the 13th with my sister Christy Porter. So I mean, naturally, very good choices.
Because of your friend Christy, or because of the movie? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Emily Porter says sitting in a cave in the woods with my dad and him telling tales about bears in the woods. So you're in the cave in the woods, and your dad's telling stories about bears.
In the woods.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can see how that could be an easy
I get that. Yeah.
Pip Lakey says, Gollum from the Rankin and Bass Hobbit cartoon, which I totally believe that.
That's still the best looking Gollum I've ever seen.
But it is good.
The yellow eyes that glow.
And the finger that comes off at the end and how grotesque the biting is and everything. Ooh, it was good. I liked it.
I agree with that one. That was a good pick.
Pip, I appreciate it. And that's that's my friend Pip. His name is Philip, but he goes by Pip, as in Mary and Pippin kind of thing. And he is basically a hobbit in real life, and I love the guy. So thank you, Pip. Emery Thibodeau says, being silently stalked by a panther in the dark anytime I had to go outside at night, which is, I'm assuming we don't have a lot of panthers around here and that she didn't grow up either. But what an interesting fear, and I want to know where that came from.
That is interesting.
I would like to hear the backstory as to why. And was it just imaginary, or was there just some panther?
Was there a real one?
Yeah,
Did you see a panther?
Rebecca Ray says, dead bodies and an empty cavity of soul.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Revy, I don't know if you're just being funny or if you really are.
Did you see a dead body?
Afraid of dead bodies? But she's got dead bodies capitalized, as in if it might be a movie or a TV show. Dead bodies, so. Possibly. Okay. I might not know that one, but either way.
Do you see dead people? All right, go on.
I mean, possibly.
Possibly.
Sarah Brody says, getting attacked by jaws while swimming in the pool. That one has a few likes as well.
Sarah.
Yep. And then Scuba Steve says...
Scuba Steve!
I'm still worried that Jaws is in the pool.
That's awesome.
Lee Jones says, I was absolutely terrified of the dark when I was a kid. I had to go to sleep with a light most of my childhood. And then, anybody making. I was never really afraid of the dark, I suppose. Like needing a night
So
light.
you could answer that question from Nickelodeon.
Go, oh, come on, shut up. So, but here's something I do remember about being very, very young. I remember seeing what I felt like were shapes and shadows that would move on my walls as a very, very like early memory in childhood. And I remember also not being afraid of it. I remember that if that is a ghost, I'm going to say hello to it, or talk to it or something like that. I felt like if there was something here, I'm okay with that. I don't like it.
I don't like it, but I'm okay with it.
If it wants to come over here and talk to me, that's fine. I'll talk back. But like, I'd wish. But it was a sincere belief in anything. Like, I think there's a shadow man in my room. Well, that's interesting.
That's
I wonder if
awesome.
this is just something that happens in adult human life. And I just went with it and I remember making peace with that, if that were real.
Best Twilight Zone episode.
Hey,
I am the Shadow Man.
there you go.
Go for it.
Joey Cole says, the octopus that lived under my bed. Naturally. I had to take a running start to clear the tentacles anytime I had to get out of my room. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's
I like
cool.
you added some flavor to that one.
Yeah,
Bonus points.
I want to hear
So,
more
there you
about
go.
that, Joey. And how long did that take to go away? And do you do it occasionally still? Oh, Joey's got another one. My other was a dream of Darth Vader walking... Darth Vader again. Darth Vader walking slowly up a hill that I was on, and I couldn't move because I was frozen in fear. That's cool. He's at the top of the hill, and Vader's
Vader's
walking
at the
up,
bottom, and so he said, "I got
and
a
he's
problem with this."
coming at him. That's very cool.
That is good.
Or Tucker says, the Hulk. Yeah, I had nightmares.
No. Is he talking about the TV show? Because Lou Ferrigno painted up green,
Oh, you're
and
right.
with the red lips and everything
Because
was scary.
Aura is about our age. She would remember Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Yeah, that's
That
probably
would
what she's
be
from.
it, and that was scary. I agree with you.
So she says the Hulk. I had nightmares
Yeah.
about him throwing my mom's car at me. How?
That's got to be it. That's
specific.
got to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Lou
I agree.
Ferrigno Hulk is pretty terrifying sometimes.
I agree with that
So,
one. This is great. Keep going.
Mickey Cannon Bartholomew says, I had a serious, all caps, childhood fear that still rears its head occasionally that I would see a face in the window at night. That absolutely, all caps, terrified me as a child. That's, man, like that, there's nothing you can really do about that.
I want to know more about that.
I do too, Mickey. I would like to hear
Mickey.
about it. You know Mickey Cannon, right?
Mickey, come on in.
Yeah. So, Mickey, please let us know.
Actually, Mickey has never been. He came over to the old house all the time. He's never been over to the new house.
Well, that's
because he's not here.
He lives in Chicago now, I think.
Yeah.
Moved up there.
Mickey, come back here so you can be on the podcast.
Mickey, come back
I know you
here.
want to do that.
Yeah, be a guest on the podcast for us.
I guess that's worth the trip.
That would be worth the trip. That'd be good. Kenny says, waking up one day and I'm old and I'm further irrelevant.
That's great.
Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that laugh. Tori Mortensen says, when I was the last one awake in someone else's house at a sleepover. That was what terrified her.
You know what?
Tell me.
I agree.
You believe that too?
I
You were
agree. If
scared?
you're the last one, it's hard to go to sleep because you're like, what's out there?
Is it the same as a kind of similar?
There's no watchdog.
Yeah.
There's no
So-
two people talking to where I can go to sleep.
being asleep in the house by yourself.
On a camping trip and you're the last one to fall asleep, it gets scary.
Interesting.
Because there's no one else with
I
you.
never felt that way.
'Cause
Maybe I
if-
fell asleep first. I don't know. I can't remember
Yeah.
that.
Thanks,
That's
jerk.
interesting. Yeah. I was the one out. Lindsay Ford Thornton says, a tree stump that I thought turned into a gremlin at night. Don't ask why I thought that. And then she laughs, but I want to know why she thought that.
I want to know exactly why
We are
you thought
both
that.
asking,
I'm a little
Lindsay.
freaked out by that.
That is, like, that's a good episode of some horror show, like a tree stump that turns into a goblin. And so, because as a
That's
kid,
like-
what are you going to do with that tree stump? You don't own a tractor to pull that tree stump out. You can't set it on fire.
I'm telling you, yeah.
It's always going to be there.
That movie was somewhere at Blockbuster. We just missed it on the aisle every time. But you saw it, and
It
it's
was
scary.
buried between the Howling 3 and 4 copies
And
of the video.
Pumpkinhead, too.
Pumpkinhead and Chainsaw Massacre. Paula Dorsey says darkness. Just straight up. Darkness scared you
Straight
as a
up
kid.
darkness.
Yeah.
I get that.
Scuba Steve comes in again and says, my grandpa called it the Marner. It was his childhood word for monster. Ooh, that's cool. Like an ancient word for monster. He
Yeah,
called
well,
it a
my
Marner.
grandpa called it The Shining.
And
so.
Steve is up in North Dakota. I'm not sure if he grew up there or not, but
North Dakotas?
yeah, he told me that it was in the barn. It really?
That's wrong.
In reality, he didn't.
That's wrong.
In reality, he didn't want me to go in the barn.
Oh, then never mind. Good on him.
Freaked me out that there was a Marner waiting for me in the dark barn. I even put a podcast about it, and he links the podcast about the Marner. So that's a cool. Maybe we've got a ghost story to listen to now. So
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Scuba Steve. Appreciate that.
Scuba Steve.
And thank you, everybody else who suggested your scary things as a kid. It helps us feel a little bit more normalized. Matt, do we have any crossover at all?
Well, no, we don't. Well,
The dark or sleepovers, maybe?
No. Do you want to know number one?
Yeah.
Don't have it, so I got it.
What are you
now,
talking
the
about?
reason... Did we have anything crossover with mine?
No, I don't. I mean...
So, yeah.
Except for... I mean,
well, we did have
really.
one.
No.
I agreed with you about Large Marge, because that was scary.
That's true.
I agree with you.
But it wasn't on your list.
Wasn't on my list. My last one was dogs.
No.
I used to be
terrified of dogs as a kid.
Biking home as a kid, there was a dog.
Oh.
And he'd chase us. He wasn't going to get us. You know,
Still.
he was just barking at us to get away from him. All right, the thing is, we were terrified. We'd run as fast as we tried to be as quiet as we could going by, but then if he heard us, he was running down the front lawn. We'd just bike. And, they chased
Yeah.
for 2 houses and turn around.
Yeah.
But we knew that little dog was going to maul us to death.
Oh, my God.
It got so bad that we took the long way home. We avoided that straight route and went around the block.
It's very much like your own version of the Sandlot, because you didn't want to go past.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
That's exactly
and
right.
In the kids' heads, I love how the dog is just this huge monster, and then when you finally see Hercules, he's just a great.
Nothing.
He's a wonderful
That's
dog.
exactly what it was.
Wow.
And we were scared to death. And me and my brother talked about this because I told my brother a story, which I'll gladly tell everyone here. But the day we stopped being afraid of dogs was when we were walking.
When we killed the dog.
Yeah, when we killed the dog, and this is a Stephen King story. When we buried it and came back 20 years later to kill us all in the form of a dog clown.
Boom.
But the thing is, though, my uncle was walking with us. This dog comes bounding at us, rah, 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 and we run behind him. And this dog may have gone after us, but we don't know. But my uncle reared back, and he kicked the snot out of that dog.
What?
And that dog barked and ran away like a coward. You know, if you put up anything, if you just
course,
bow up to
yeah.
them, they'll move back.
Yeah, they're awful.
But that dog ran. And me and my brother looked at each other, and we went, you can kick him.
You can kick
And that was at that one moment in our lifetime, we stopped being afraid of dogs. And
instantaneous cure.
It was always my story. I didn't know it was my brother's story too. I remember
Really?
he was there when we looked at each other and we're like,
When did you both find this out?
We both found this out because a couple of years ago,
Oh.
we used to walk without kids. Used to walk at night in the neighborhood. Just get my evening walk.
Sure.
Evening constitutional.
And that.
And as I was going out, Judy, who was the old anchor? Judy Wagner. Judy Wagner.
No, you got to say it. Judy Wagner.
Judy Wagner.
Yeah.
Who was an old TV anchor for years. Everyone knows the name around here. And she was in my neighborhood, and she's older, but she came out, and so did her 5-foot-something Great Dane.
Oh, my.
Great Danes can be huge.
Yes, they can.
And this Great Dane was, in fact, I didn't know what it was at first. It's like, is that an alien? What is
this
that?
horse thing?
And then I realized it was a dog. Wow. It was just huge. And then it looked at me and went, "Urgh." And I remember I just stopped walking. I just stopped. And I stood there, and it's pitch black. And she sees me. She sees my outline. I am just scared. Like there's a bear in the woods. I'm gonna have to play dead. But then I thought,
all your bear training is running.
All
through
my
your
bear
mind.
training's running through my mind. But then I thought, wait a minute.
I can kick this dog.
No, I said I can't kick this dog because I can't get up that high.
No, wow.
And then I thought, am I gonna have to punch a dog in the face? But then I also thought that's a bad move too because he's gonna swallow my arm whole.
Oh God!
And then for the first time since I was a kid, I was scared of that dog. I was scared.
Wow.
And Judy Wagner goes, Zeus, whatever his name was. I'm saying Zeus, but someone, Zeus, come back in here. And she goes, don't worry, he won't bother you. I wanted to say, lady,
madam,
there's nothing you could do to stop him. Yeah. You weigh $120.
Yeah, I am disinclined to acquiesce to your pacification.
Why does she need a dog that big?
Sure.
Does she throw a saddle on him and ride around the neighborhood like Zorro? I mean, honestly,
you got to save on the gas mileage sometimes.
But either way, though. When I told my brother this fun story about the Great Dane, he went, you know the day I start being afraid of dogs? And I went, oh, no, when? He was like, remember when Uncle Robert took it? I said, did he kick the dog? And we're like, yes! And he goes, you too? I said, yes, me too.
That's great.
So the dog story I had to take in there, but dogs petrified me as a kid.
Number one fear.
As a kid,
Like
yes.
that is a true...
More than snakes.
You wouldn't-
Snakes I knew I could get away from because they were slower, but dogs were fast, and I
they're
thought...
dangerous.
I thought
You
you-
go first.
That's exactly right. Very dangerous. You go first.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Oh, like dogs. Why did it have to... Cujo. Oh, Cujo? Are you kidding me? We saw Cujo the movie? The TV
But
TV
how old were
movie
you
was
when you
scaring
saw
me.
Cujo?
Well, it was a TV movie.
Yes.
And we only saw bits and clips, but
Yeah.
I was already... I understood where they were coming from. I was
Look,
like, I would say in that...
Carrie watched Cujo on repeat probably as a child at 6 years old.
And she's here, doggy, doggy, doggy,
Every doggy. Every single Saturday.
Nothing. Morning.
Samoflange. Happy Halloween.